The U.S. media reported that the Trump administration is mulling a ban on members of the Communist Party of China, CPC, and their families from traveling to the U.S., and CPC members and their families already in the U.S. will be expelled. This has been so far the most paranoid China policy. It is unfit to be reported in the media. Correspondingly, U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo said on Wednesday that the CPC would remain President Donald Trump's biggest obstacle if he manages to win re-election in November, according to media reports. Banning all CPC members and their families from traveling to the U.S. needs an incredibly big social mobilization, rather than the simple operations of certain U.S. institutions. The first thing that comes to the minds of many people is that the Trump team aims at re-election. They have to show an ever-tough stance toward China and further ignite American society's resentment toward China, so that they can attribute all of their woes to China and the CPC. They are just trying to seek re-election through Americans' antagonism toward China. The Trump administration has tried really hard for re-election. They are turning the US into a heretic country, and making it as if cursing China can bring the country out of its predicament. Once a group is bewitched, it can resort to whatever weird means, while behaving like it is standing on the high moral ground. Washington has no basic logic it is supposed to have in a globalized era. It might really turn its paranoia into reality. Two evil motives are behind the U.S. administration's highlight of the CPC as its target. First, under the Western discourse, it wants to further smear China and mobilize the West against China. Second, it aims to drive a wedge between the Chinese people and the CPC to divide Chinese society. But this seriously violates the basic rules of international communications, and is an evil move that blatantly brings hostility into international relations. The Western world should keep alert of it. The Chinese public's satisfaction with their ruling party is much more than Americans with their government. Especially since the outbreak of the novel coronavirus, the Chinese people have clearly seen the people-centered governance ideas of the CPC, while the dereliction of duty of the U.S. government and its rogue behavior can never be whitewashed by Washington. The U.S. administration is conducting crime-like offenses toward China-U.S. relations and world peace, creating uncertainty for 21st century humanity. This has been beyond everyone's expectations. We cannot use normal thinking to understand the recklessness of geopolitical maniacs. The Chinese people must face up to the reality that the U.S. attitude toward China has fundamentally changed. We need to make firm and rational plans to prepare for the decades-long strategic competition with the U.S. Such competition will leave a major mark on the lives of today's young people. Their lives will be completely different from that of the generation during the initial stage of China's reform and opening up. The young generation today has more strength and wisdom and will shoulder the key phase of China's rise. They need to create similar miracles, like China can clear all newly confirmed cases of coronavirus when the US is overwhelmed by the pandemic. They should strengthen China's endurance and tenacity for long-term competition. They should have the ability to continue to open up when the US is trying to contain China. They should also unite most countries and make more Westerners understand China's system. China's future rests on the young people. Related articles. Let's block ads. Why?
Show your love for him. Click the link in description. Thanks for watching.